And it's a story of the gods. The male gods and the female gods. You see, the male gods and the female gods were having an argument. The females argue that if y'all don't give us more respect as creators, then we're going to shut the gates. You will no longer be able to come through our waters. Your sons will no longer be able to grow in our darkness. The men said, well, you know what we want. We need more wombs. We need more daughters. We need more submission to us. We are the primary, they said. The women god said, sons, if you don't give us more respect as creators, we're gonna shut the portals down. He said, well, if you don't give us more wombs, we will withdraw the rods. We will give you no more lightning to spark your eggs. She says, sons, if you don't give us more respect as creators, then we're going to shut the gates. He said, men, they all yelled, withdraw the rods. And they did. And the female god said, goddesses, shut the gates. And they did. So the men went about their way. And the women went about their way. As time passed, they doing women things and they playing in the dirt and doing their moon rituals, singing their songs of remembrance. They're drumming. Men, they're overbuilding technology. Still building, trying to figure out a way to make these women do what they need them to do. So the men were getting older, and the women were getting older. So the older generations were dying off. So both sides noticed that, okay, they're dying off. Because as this older generation is dying off, it wasn't being replenished with a new generation. So the men start feeling a little desperate. Well, you know what? If this is how it's going to be, then build, men, build. Build monuments, build statues, build buildings tall to the sky so that any being that will come to this planet after we're long gone will remember us. They will know us. We will live on. The women watched. And they kept playing in the dirt and playing with the herb. Working magic over their food. Laughing with their daughters and telling stories. But the drumming was getting a little bit more intense. They were having more gatherings, more womb circles, more ceremonies amongst them. The men say, look at them. And they're the creators, he said. Look at them. They will not even be remembered. So a couple more generations of each done died off. And there was one generation left of both. Male gods and the female gods. So the men said, well, this is about our time. We're about to go. Let's see if we can have one more meeting with these women. Let's see if we can convince them to give us what we're asking for. So they called the meeting. The women came. And the men pointed out, do you see what's happening? Woman, because of your stubbornness. All we're asking you for is more of your daughters to submit to us. You already submit to us. You've already given up your will. The women said, are you willing to give us the respect as creators? He said, such a simple request. Why are you asking for respect as a creator? We're about to die off. Just agree to give us the women that we need, so that we may plant into them and produce more sons. And it'll benefit you, because then you could produce some more of your daughters. She said no. The head of the god, she said, no, we're not willing. Simple women, they said, then this is our time. We will be remembered. They left. But he went back to their living areas. There was just a couple men left after time had passed. Just a few men left that was dying off. And the women walked over to their camp with a basket. And she said, y'all dying. He said, well, y'all dying too. She said, yes, it's our time. We're old. It's time for our transition. It's time for yours. He said, and even now you're still being stubborn. What do you have? You haven't even built monuments. They won't even remember you long after you're gone. But they will remember us long after we're gone. What do you have? He said. She put a basket in front of him. He said, a basket? Who is going to remember you for a basket? Do you see what we've built? This is a statue of my father, and my father's father, and my father's father, and me and my sons.
The all-in-one and done symptom relief of Mucinex is delivered fast with DoorDash, so you don't have to leave the couch. Boom.
She said, we don't need that. We have this. She said, so we ask again, you're on your deathbed at this point. Are you willing to respect us as elders? As the creators? She said, if you are willing to give us the respect as creators, then we will open the gates. He said, I will die first before I give you the respect as a creator. I'm the creator. I'm the creator, and you will give us what we're asking for, he said. You will give us more wombs. So the women sat in a circle, and they started singing, touching the land, and playing the drum. And the men were dying. And just before they closed their eyes, just before they left, the women asked, would you like to see what's in the basket? The men said, fine, whatever. We don't care about your basket. And they moved the cloth back, and it was a baby girl. And the men were perplexed. And she said, see, we never needed to remember to make monuments in our images so that the world will remember us. We only needed to remember parthenogenesis. Moral of the story. What is the world without women? Dead. What is the world without men? A world without men.